What's up, guys? It's been a little bit since I have made a video. I got the PRS. This is the SE Custom 24 Semi-Hollow with the piezo, and so far so good. I like it a lot. Honestly, I was kind of on the fence about it, but I really like it. I could use a setup. I've got some kind of dead strings on it, but I am intending to start doing some of my own setup work. I have a background in machining. I love doing woodworking. So, I've watched quite a few videos on how to set up guitars, and not to take anything from professional luthiers, because you guys are amazing at what you do. I think that I can kind of get the gist of it and figure it out. I think part of the problem with at least the G string, I'm having an issue. Could be at the nut. I think these strings are sitting in the nut a little, I don't know if you can see it, but a little lower than they should. So if you listen to I don't know how well you guys can hear this or how well it's going to come through, but it's kind of dead, as opposed to the D there, which is kind of ringing out a little bit more. The G is B is a little bit better. High E is pretty nice. So this is straight out of the box. I've been playing it for a couple of months. And so, this has your 3-position toggle. So you've got the 2 humbuckers. I forget what's in here, 8515s or something like that. And then it also has, you can also split coils with it as well. So, it's pretty versatile. One of the things that kind of appeal to me is I do, a good amount of acoustic playing as well. And, I wanted kind of a Swiss Army knife, something that was going to give me a lot of different tones. I kind of went between, I want a Strat, but I really love PRS. I've always loved PRS, and I've always wanted one. Now, obviously, this is a SE, so this is the, made in Indonesia at the Court Factory, version of it. But if you guys have seen any of the videos that they have done on that factory, there is quite a bit of quality control that PRS actually does at that factory to really ensure that the quality of this guitar is up to, PRS's standards. So, I've been playing with it for a while. Like I said, it does need a setup. I am going to, attempt to do that myself. I think the strings that are on it right now are 10 to 42, I believe. And I've just been, it's just tuned to standard E. I've done some drop D stuff, but with the trem system, doing alternate tuning is a real pain in the ass. I don't use the tremolo a lot on this, and I'm thinking about basically getting a kind of a tremolo stop, or whatever they call them, for this guitar in order to make alternate tuning or drop D tuning a little bit easier. If I do it on my my Gibson, I can do drop D, and it doesn't knock out the rest of the strings. It doesn't knock them out of tune. On this one, if you do a drop D, then inevitably everything else is screwed up, and you've got to retune every single string, and it's a real nightmare and a pain in the ass. So that's one thing I don't like about it. But as far as tonality and everything else is concerned, I really, really enjoy this guitar. So, here's an example. I'm running this through. So a few weeks ago, I ended up getting a PRS, the Archon 25. It's a combo amp, and I'm really enjoying that. I have gone between, I had a Spark 2, which had all kinds of different cabinet option, excuse me, different amp options and pedals and this, that, and the other thing. And it was a good amp. I got that along with the foot switch, and I got the Link system, which was wireless system, and it was pretty good. But you know, I got into a situation where I just wanted natural tones, and I wanted to be able to hear the guitar, and I felt like there were almost too many options with that setup because I was always playing with tones. I was always switching amps and doing this and doing that, and realistically I was spending more time doing that than I was playing the guitar. So I started doing a little research, and you know, I went on to our Parkway Music is a local music shop that sells guitars and drums and keyboards and the whole 9 yards. And you know, I just went onto their website and, like, you know, what do they have? And I stumbled upon this PRS, this Archon 25, and what I liked about it was it has a lot of nice clean tones. It also does, you know, it has a real nice dirty lead channel, and I'll show you an example of that. But, you know, I kind of wanted to just go through some of the tones of the guitar and, you know, let you guys hear kind of how it sounds. So that's just the straight humbucker. I've got the tone knob set kind of right in the middle-ish. Here is the coil split on that, that bridge pickup. So here's the middle position. This is not coil split. So it's got really nice tones. We'll split the coils on this one. I believe it's using these two pickups here. And then here's the neck pickup. And then we will, whoops, wrong knob. Sorry about that. And now we'll do the coil split on that. So yeah, it's got a lot of nice tones. So the piezo is underneath the bridge here. I'll give you guys a little bit of a sample of that as well. I really like the way that this sounds. You know, it's not a true authentic sounding acoustic sound, but it really captures kind of what I'm looking for. And a lot of times, so with this setup, you can just run the straight piezo if you want, or you can also start blending in some of the other tones with the other pickups as well. And as you can see, I'll demonstrate, this is going to be just the straight, you know, piezo. And then if I want, you know, what I've been generally doing is I will split the bridge and I'll just start bringing up the tone a little bit. And you can kind of start hearing it fill the room a little bit more, and it almost starts to sound like instead of there being one guitar, there being two guitars, you know, playing simultaneously together. And it kind of, you know, it kind of reshapes the whole tone of the guitar, and I feel like it sounds pretty good. So, you know, you can play around all day long, you know, between the amp, between the guitar. There's a lot of different tones that you can get out of this, and I really like the versatility of it. You know, I've gotten into acoustic guitars, and, you know, I've really focused on playing, you know, doing scales. So, you know, I've been just focusing on just fundamental stuff with guitar. Something that's kind of near and dear to my heart, and it always has been and it always will be, is metal music. And that's where this amplifier really kind of starts to shine a little bit. It has, as far as I'm concerned, really crystal clear tones. And you can, even in the clean setting, there's a bright switch on this. You know, so even the amplifier itself, you can get a lot of different tonality out of it just in, you know, the settings on the amp itself. It's got a treble, it's got a middle, it's got a bass. There is a global presence and depth on this as well. And, you know, right, it's given me everything I've needed. I sampled this a little bit with STL Tones, and they have a head that is based off of the Archon 50. So I kind of tried to match that up as best as I could to this amp. And, you know, when my wife and kid are home and I want to just jam out, I throw on, you know, the computer, I plug my guitar into that, throw on my headphones, and, you know, I'm off to the races, and I have a similar setup to what I'm listening to live right now. And that's kind of how I fell in love with the amp. You know, like I said, I'm kind of a metalhead at heart, and I love just riffing and doing different things like that. And, you know, that is another thing that I've really started to practice as well. So, you know, that's where this amp kind of, you know, really starts to shine is it has a nice lead channel. It has a nice, you know, crunchy, dirty channel. So I'll do a little, you know, demonstration of that now for you. Oh, actually, that was blended with a piezo. So yeah, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't need to blend it with the piezo. But as you can see, there's a lot of versatility in this guitar. I've really been enjoying playing it. I can do a little bit more of an in-depth thing at some point if people are looking for that. The fretwork, they did a pretty good job straight out of the factory with everything. So when I do this setup, there's not a lot that I have to do with it. Like I said, the nut itself, I'll probably end up replacing that. This is probably just a plastic one on here to begin with, so I'm going to get something a little bit better. And then, kind of hardtailing the tremolo. That's another upgrade that I'm looking to do, and also doing some locking tuners on this as well. But, PRS prides themselves on getting these guitars as close to their core models as possible. And I've never played a core model, so I don't know specifically, but this is a little higher end SE. I got it on sale through Sweetwater for $13.50 or something along those lines. You can probably get them used at this point in time, for under $1,000. But if you're looking for kind of a Swiss Army type guitar, I think this is something that, really could appeal to all types of players. If you're a metalhead, a country player, or if you're just somebody that likes music in general like me and just likes playing all kinds of different things, then I think this would flip the bill for you. So with that being said, sorry it's been a while, but and sorry that the video was so long, but I just want to touch base with everybody, just kind of let you know where I was at, and hopefully keep things going here. So Happy New Year. We've got New Year's next week, I believe it is. So I hope everybody enjoys. Be safe out there. Don't drink and drive, and keep on rocking and rolling.